All right, Connor's Music at Home, webisode 5. We are talking about the C major scale, starting to learn about being able to ascend and descend, as well as we're going to, right out of the gate, we're going to write out a C major scale, and then later on today, we're going to play it. So that's all coming up on episode 5, Connor's Music at Home. Whoopsh. Alright, so today we're going to talk about major scales and drawing them. Now we've done drawing notes before, but now we got to get relaxed, really chill, because the next activity is going to ask a little bit more of us on drawing a C major scale. So first thing that we're going to do, I'm going to put my blue marker in my pocket. I'm going to save that for later. That's going to come up a little later on. But for now I'm going to use my black marker. I find sometimes using different color markers helps to lighten the mood when you're doing something a little bit more intense or a little bit more serious. Because really, is any of this serious? This is music. It's supposed to be fun. I'm using a ruler or a straight edge to help make my lines nice and straight, and I have to draw 5 lines of the music staff. The straighter the line, the easier this will be as things progress. 1, 2, 3. Now I need line number 4. And lastly, line number 5. Very good. I'm going to put a line at the start of this measure and a line at the end. Now, first step. Now that we've got our staff drawn, it kind of starts off smaller and gets a little bit bigger. We'll call that perspective. It's drawn in perspective. I'm going to put a treble clef at the start of that. Now we've got lovely practice on our treble clef as we've gone through. We can recap that another day. One of the biggest things, I didn't really like that so much. I know there are no mistakes, only happy accidents. But I think I can, because I'm using dry erase, I can fix that little happy accident and make it less of a happy accident. All right, so our treble clef is there. I want to make that a little more extended. Perfect. Wonderful. That'll do. So that's our treble clef. And we're writing a C major scale in the treble clef. So the first place we're going to start is actually below all 5 of these lines. We're going to start in what's called a ledger line. So I'm going to draw a line that extends below our staff right there. For those of you who are piano players, you might recognize that as what would be called middle C if we were extending into the grand staff and had a bass clef. We'll talk about bass clef in a little bit. So now that I'm going to get on to the note drawing, I'm going to switch colors. Helps them stand out a little bit more. Might be something fun to do. So if you're at home and you're drawing out your major scale, consider using different colors. Make your notation really colorful and bright. We could all use a little bit more color in our lives. So to make a C note, our first note, I'm actually going to draw the note head right through that ledger line, right through the center of it. Next, after that, I'm going to draw a note head that's just below the staff, here. Now that is our C note and that is our D note. Now everything else from there we've talked about already in previous webisodes, but you might remember this line, every good boy deserves fudge, or every girl badly deserves fudge. Now a nifty trick it took me a while to figure out for major scales when I was younger was that even though we've learned all these patterns, every good boy deserves fudge, and your spaces spell face, that's all fine and good. But really, it just goes up the alphabet, line, space, etc. And it just keeps ascending. Even if you have these continued ledger lines, these little extension lines, going way, way, way up. It doesn't matter. They just keep going up the alphabet per line per space. So this is the letter C. This is the letter D. Now from our Every Good Boy Deserves Fudge, we know that this is the letter E. From our spaces spelling face, remember we're always doing that from the bottom up, our space here is going to be an F. So C, D, E, F, and then this here, every good, is a G. Every good, or F-A, and then every good boy, or every girl badly, and lastly, F-A-C. So now I've drawn the note head in every single note of the staff. Notice that it just goes up in a straight line. When they talk about scale, and we'll recap this a little later on today, when we talk about scales, scale is from the Greek word scala. We're learning a different language today. Scala, which meaning ladder, or stairs, we can treat it like stairs or steps. So all that a major scale is a series of steps going up, and then we can, if we wanted to draw this really long, we could have it going back down. Now, because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 notes, I'm going to write this as a series of 8 eighth notes. We talked about drawing eighth notes. I'm going to recap that a little bit as well. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw my stems and try to make them approximately the same length as best as you can. So that way they match going up. Now, tricky part. When I get to B, we talked about it. The B is the middle note of the staff. There are 5 lines. It's the third line. So as a result, that stem can go down or up. And because I'm going to have the C note after it, the stem going down, I'm actually going to have both their stems going down. So that way they can be a pair. They can be 2 buddies. As we talked about it, eighth notes like to hold hands when they're side by side. Just like that. So let's connect those stems. Connecting the stems. Nice. And the last step here is going to be coloring in those note heads. So I'm going to color it in, color it in, color it in, color it in, color it in. Doesn't have to be perfect. Just do your best. Try your best not to go outside of the lines of that circle, that note head. So now we have C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. We have a C major scale drawn from start to finish. Now I mentioned for our bass players, they work on a different clef called a bass clef. So instead of drawing that treble clef, we could draw a bass clef. And then what we would do is start on the lines of the bass clef and start on their lines are good bassists deserve fudge always, and all cars eat gas. And actually that's not true anymore these days. I might say all cows eat grass. Now, my farmer friends would tell me cows eat a variety of things too, so let's not get too specific or too caught up. These are just rhymes to help us remember. So, as a result, if you do that, start on a C note and ascend line, space, every single line and space possible to draw a C major scale. Thanks for drawing along with me, and happy practicing your C major scale drawing and writing. What did the Canadian musician get on his playing test? Straight A's? Wah wah. All right, for the song for today's webisode, we've got a very heavy topic, a very serious topic to discuss. And part of that is in the news, sometimes we hear things going on in the world that aren't good. We hear bad things happening to people around us. And there is a special role that a musician and music plays for people when they're in tough times, when they're in bad times. So in the news today, there was something really bad that happened in Nova Scotia. So I wanted to pick a song to help people who might be dealing with that a little bit more personally. And for anybody, just to send our well wishes and our whatever comfort we can. So sometimes when you're having a hard day, you might want to sing a song that might give you courage. If you're having a hard day or a sad day, you might want to sing a sad song, even though singing a sad song on a sad day might not seem like a smart idea. Sometimes we find comfort in that. Sometimes we want to sing an energetic or a happy song just to pick up our spirits. So each of these times that you pick a song, it has great power to it. So I picked a song today to dedicate to the people in Nova Scotia that have been in the news as of recently for the tragedy that just occurred. And for everybody watching, if we have a chance to sing a song or send prayers or thoughts or good vibes, all of the above are all good things. It's the best thing we can do in a world that sometimes has a little bit of darkness. Let's send as much good and positivity as we can. So the song we're going to play today is Farewell to Nova Scotia. Well, the sun was setting out within the west, and the birds were singing on every tree. Oh, nature seemed inclined for to rest, but still there was no rest left for me. So farewell to Nova Scotia, your sea-bound coast. Let your mountains dark and dreary be. For when I'm far away on the briny ocean tossed, will you ever heave a sigh or a wish for me? Well, I grieve to leave my native land, and I grieve to leave my comrades all, and my parents whom I held oh so dear, and my bonny, bonny lassie that I do adore. Oh, farewell to Nova Scotia, your sea-bound coast. Let your mountains dark and dreary be. For when I'm far away on the briny ocean tossed, will you ever heave a sigh or wish for me? Well, I have 3 brothers, and they are at rest, and their arms are folded on their chests. For a poor and a simple sailor just like me must be tossed and driven on the deep blue sea. Well, let's pray for Nova Scotia, your sea-bound coast. Let your mountains dark and dreary be. Oh, when I'm far away on the briny ocean tossed, will you ever heave a sigh or wish for me? Well, the drums do beat, wars do alarm, and my captain calls, I must obey. So farewell, farewell to my Nova Scotia's charms. They'll be early in the morning, I'll be far, far away. And farewell to Nova Scotia, sea-bound coast. Let your mountains dark and dreary be. Oh, when I'm far away on the briny ocean tossed, will you ever heave a sigh or a wish for me? Well, 3 cheers for Nova Scotia, your sea-bound coast. Let your mountains dark and dreary be. Oh, when I'm far away on the briny ocean tossed, will you ever heave a sigh or wish for me? Will you ever heave a sigh or a wish for me? All right, as was expressed earlier today, we've drawn a C major scale. We've written out a series of notes ascending up a C major scale. So what does that mean? So we expressed the idea that scale comes from the Greek word scala, meaning ladder or stairs. steps. So if you were to say you were going to scale a ladder, that would mean you were going to climb up a series of steps to the top of a ladder. So our C major scale does exactly that, a series of steps that go up, and then eventually, if you want, you can also get that to descend, to go down the ladder in the other way. So we can have that scale go up, and we can go the scale down, ascending or descending. So in the case of our, you may have heard the terms do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. You might have heard a song that goes do, a deer, a female deer, and expresses all those different notes. What that song was pointing out was that with these notes that you have, you can build a lot of melody lines. You can build, these are the building blocks of a lot of the songs we love. For the melody, the part that you would sing, or the series of individual notes that you would play. To help me demonstrate a C major scale, I'm going to start off with tools called boom whackers. What are boom whackers? Tubes, long tubes that when you whack, they make a pitch, a note. This note here is our C, C. This note here, this tube, just a little higher, is our D. This one next, yellow, doesn't matter the color, they just do it that way. Yellow is an E. Green is an F. Darker green, I would call that maybe not a forest green, maybe a jungle green. Jungle green is G. Purple is an A. Lighter purple, maybe a violet. No, not a violet. Lighter purple anyway is a B, which brings us back to C. So you'll notice that the C's at the start and at the end of our scale are both do and do. C, 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 C. So our major scale has 7 unique words in it. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti. And it has a do at the beginning and a do at the end. They are the same. But because they are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 steps apart, we would call these notes played in an octave. Playing C major scale, starts down here, ends up here. Okay, I'm going to do my best. I might have to throw these, bear with me, but I'm going to do my best to play a C major scale in boom whackers with a little bit of a sense of timing. There's a lot of different tubes, so bear with me. 1, 2, 3. It's C, then D, then E, then F, then G, then A, then B, and on C. Wonderful. That's our C major scale done in boom whackers. We're going to take a quick look at our C major scale done in both on a piano, a guitar, and a ukulele, because why not? Right, for our C major scale on a piano, you need to find 2 black keys like this, and your thumb is going to go on the white key right ahead of these 2 black keys. That's a C note. C, D, E, tuck the thumb, F, G, A, B, ending on a C, same as the first note. We can also do that descending, C, B, A, G, F, crossover, E, D, C. I'll make a little C chord to go ta-da! Nice, C chord. And C major scale on the piano. All right, C major scale for a ukulele. C, D, that's the second, starting on the C string open, 3rd string, 2nd finger on the 2nd fret. Pick my 2nd string open, 1st finger on the 1st fret, 3rd finger on the 3rd fret of the 2nd string, 1st string open, 2nd finger, 2nd fret, 3rd finger, 3rd fret, so that's C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. And with a pretty C chord, ta-da! 5th string, 3rd fret is a C. 4th string open is a D. 2nd finger on the 2nd fret of that 4th string is an E. 3rd finger on the 3rd fret of the 4th string is an F. G string open, that's our 3rd string. 2nd finger, 2nd fret on that 3rd string is an A. 2nd string open is a B. First finger on the first fret of the second string is a C, and a nice C chord to finish. Which note is the most Canadian note? The A note? Wah wah. All right, everybody, thanks so much for writing, reading, and playing a C major scale today. There are lots of other scales that are out there, and you can certainly learn more about scales with your music teacher, so feel free. If you have any questions, you can reach out to us. We are at either by phone, 905-476-3712. You can email us at lessons@connorsmusic.ca, or you certainly can message us or connect with us through all of our social media platforms. So I'm Joe Connors. Thanks for watching episode 5, Major Scales, Connors Music at Home.